What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Game Junction Podcast. We're here for episode 123 this week, and we've got over here to my left, we got Matt Long Six. How's it going?
Doing well with muffins.
With muffins,
Cat.
cutie. Then we've got Andre from GameXplain is back. How's it going?
It's going good. Hope everyone's doing well as well.
Yeah. It's everybody have a good. You guys have a good day.
It's been a long day. It's been a day. I'll go. That's as far as I'll say. And make unintentional rhymes. Apparently,
I was telling Matt before. I was like, he's gonna love your background because he's got it's filled with Nintendo stuff. So he's
I think Matt's background can compete pretty well. So
yeah, I think so too. Like he's got the chain of toads. I love it.
What kind of Kirby is that? Oh, is that Kirby holding something?
Heart.
Oh, adorable.
That's cool.
And
then
you
got the cat. You got the Kirby holding a heart. I can't compete with this.
I can't compete either.
Not just a cat, but he's got a Yoshi card.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
That is amazing. Yeah.
Where did you get the Kirby at?
Best Buy, but also Target sells them.
Oh, that's cool, man. I love that. Yeah, I would like to make a trip out to Super Nintendo World at some point.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah, I would really like to go there.
Which one, Hollywood or the new one coming up at Epic Universe?
I mean, I would like to go to both at some point. I mean, it is on the list of things to do. Like, I think I am going to probably get to go this year. I just don't know where, but
right.
I don't know. And also, we're going to be talking about it, but the new Nintendo Store, that would be cool too. Although it is going to be the further one, and just to check it out would be pretty interesting. But yeah, so it looks like we got a bunch of people commenting in here. Just shout out real quick. You got Sonic Joe popped in, Nintendo Lover Girl, Michael.
Some idiot called GameXplain is in the chat. I don't know what their deal is.
Who's this guy? Who is this guy? What's going on? Mr. Coffee, how's it going? Gustin, shout out a few of you guys. We got everybody rolling in now.
Hey, Gustin.
Yeah, so we'll go ahead and get started here. I guess we're going to be talking about first, which came out today, was analysts are talking about the Switch 2. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Matt.
I just said hi to another of my viewers. We're good.
Oh, okay. But yeah, we got analysts talking about the Switch 2, essentially. Obviously, they always talk about all of the video game console releases and kind of their thoughts of everything. And so we are exactly 20 days away, right?
I think that's right. Yeah. That's crazy. It's just under 3 weeks now. That's wild.
Yeah, this is wild.
I knew it would go by quick. Once they had the Switch 2 reveal, everyone's like, "Oh, it's so far away." I'm like, "Are you freaking kidding me? It'll be here before you know it." And sure enough, it's almost here.
Yeah, I know it's crazy. I thought it was going to take forever as well, but I mean, we're so close that it's just I'm so excited. But yeah, so I guess the first thing that they're talking about is kind of the price points. So they're saying between $400 and $500, leaning more towards the $400 to $450 range. I guess what do you guys feel about that, Matt? We talked about the price before, me and Andre. What do you think about like the price point as far as the Switch 2?
As long as they're cheaper than PlayStation 5, then it's probably a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, I think it has to be, right? Like Nintendo. One thing about Nintendo is they don't. I can't think of a console off the top of my head that they've ever sold at a loss. Do you know, Andre, if there's any that they've sold at a loss?
Wii U didn't do good. It was at a loss, though.
I don't think it sold at a loss.
Yeah, like, that been part of the problem. They weren't willing to take a loss on it. Right. They probably should have.
Yeah.
I don't know for sure, but I'm inclined to think that the only system that I can think of that they may have taken a loss on was the GameCube.
Okay.
They dropped that, down to $99 pretty quick for Nintendo.
Yeah.
From $200, and then I think eventually dropped to $50.
Yes.
I'm sure the prices got cheaper for them manufacturing wise at some point, but I think they may have eaten it a little bit there. So
yeah, that was the first one that popped in my head that I was thinking maybe there was a loss there, but yeah, it's interesting because with the DLSS technology and everything that's going to be packed into this, it's obviously got to be a little bit more, and the $400 mark to me sounds more Nintendo than the $500 mark, at least right now. I mean, next console generation, we could be talking about the 500 for Nintendo, but to me, I think the 400 personally.
I think that makes the most sense. I mean, as you mentioned, we've been talking about this for a while now, and I've always felt to be between 400 and 500. The 500 being a much less likely option.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't rule it out entirely because this is Nintendo. They have gone cocky before, and they're riding like the highest high they've had in forever.
Right.
So
right.
It's not impossible that they actually go to 500 especially because they know almost no matter what, as even Bloomberg was saying, that they're going to sell out. The first wave, no problem. And then if the price then becomes an issue, they can always lower it. So yeah, I hope that's not the case, but I wouldn't entirely rule it out. But I am leaning toward 400 for sure.
Yeah,
I think that it's going to be about 400. I remember when I bought my very first system of PlayStation 3 and I was a kid, and I saved up every nickel and dime I had.
That was an expensive one.
Yeah, at GameStop, I gave him every single I calculated everything, and then I went there. I'm like, crap, I'm like $8 short. And I was like, no, I saved up my quarters too, and I gave him every single quarter I had, including tax and everything. It was insane.
Did you get this around launch? Because it was a $600 console launch, and that equates to like what?
I had to save up for a long time.
Yeah, that was a wild launch. That got a lot of backlash. You remember that one, Andre, right? How much backlash there was on the PS3 price? Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, like God, they encourage people to get a second job, as I recall, to pay for this thing. It's like that is the height of like arrogance, and I hope Nintendo doesn't fall into that trap, but it's not impossible,
Yeah,
because again, they have a hot product right now, and they know now's the time they could, encourage people to pay more for it, but. We'll see. I think they have said that they want to keep it affordable, but that's also like empty talk. Like $500 would be affordable to Nintendo. So yeah.
Right. Yeah, definitely. This makes sense. I mean, this is pretty much what I've kind of heard about. With the circle all around me, has kind of thought this $400 to $500 range, with most thinking like probably the 400. But yeah, I guess the other thing is we got Hiroshi Yamashina said he sees a huge launch ahead for Switch 2 with a prediction of 20 million units sold in its first year on the market. So that's
crazy. I don't have the direct comparison for all the year one figures, but even going off the day one figure that the article also mentioned, being like having 6 to 8 million consoles ready to go, that's absurd. That is like so much more than any other system. So I don't know if that's 100% accurate, but even that feels extreme. But on the other hand, we have heard reports of Nintendo already having ship systems to, say, North America, for instance, and a good amount of them apparently, and they're ready to go. And that was back in January, so they probably have even more on the way. And it could be, it could just be an absurdly huge launch, which would be nice because how hard, I think we all remember how hard it's been to get system launch in years past for at least anything that isn't the Wii U.
Right. Yeah, I was just looking here at like the sale markers, like total sale markers for the consoles and handhelds, and it's kind of crazy to see that the Wii U in total only sold 104 million units, which is absolutely nothing. Yeah.
Poor Wii U.
Yeah, I love the Wii U, man. I was there through the whole era. I was writing news about the Wii U during that time and reviewing games, and I have looked fondly on that era. But you had the dry spells. I mean, there was dry spells and no games, and that's where like the indies came in, right? Like it's checking out the different indie games and stuff in between that. But yeah, what an interesting time with Nintendo there. But yeah, I mean, I guess that's pretty much what they're saying. They think that there's a stockpile of 6 to 8 million Switch 2 units ready to go worldwide on day one, which, if that's the case, this is the way that like everybody should be doing it. So we don't have the scalper problem, which I think they're trying to avoid.
It's a good way of looking at it. Yeah.
Yeah. If that's the case, that's kind of crazy. It's a good thing. But kind of crazy. That's a lot of units to have ready to go. I do hope that's the case personally. But Matt, do you plan on picking one up at launch?
Yep. I think I'm gonna pre-order it. I really hope they do some type of like pre-order bonus, but they don't seem to do that on
consoles. Yeah,
I just want a little Mario keychain or something. I don't know.
That's what always incentivizes me to pre-order, like Donkey Kong. I pre-ordered at GameStop to get the barrel, and it just sits there. It's cool though, like it's always like these little knickknacks. But
to be fair,
I'm all about the knickknacks.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome.
Exactly.
And to be fair, how much can a barrel really do? They really just sit there by design, right? So I think you're kind of using it in the best way possible.
Yeah, I still throwing my pens in it. So
hey, there you go.
Yeah, I was like, all right,
Mario Party. That actually functions as a dice. That's awesome.
A keychain though, but yeah,
that's cool. Is that from Jamboree?
Yes, that's from Jamboree, GameStop. The
nice.
acrylic one is from Best Buy.
Best Buy. I remember that. Yeah, I had to pick which one I wanted for the Zelda one. I
like how that Mario Party dice, I think, shows the impossibility of the dice, because in the game it's up to 10. But that's a 6-sided dice, right? So what did they do there? Did they just ignore some numbers, or?
I guess. On that dice is 1 through 6.
Got it. Okay, so it can work as an actual dice, which I appreciate.
Yes, I'm gonna double check now.
I don't want to ruin it.
Yeah, it's 1 through 6.
All right, sweet.
That's wild. Okay, so next we got a pretty interesting one. I just wanted to bring up kind of quickly because I thought it sounded pretty cool and kind of fit in with the Nintendo theme. But we have this game called Wild Blue, which is supposed to be like a spiritual successor to Star Fox. It says offering a nostalgic and action-packed experience. Game captures a classic Star Fox essence with animal pilots, X-shaped ships, and thrilling aerial dogfights. It's being developed by the studio founded by a programmer who worked on the original Star Fox. So I definitely wanted to bring this up because, I mean, Star Fox isn't getting any love, of course. And at least I love Star Fox, But upcoming Steam game, and the developer Chuhai Labs openly acknowledges the game as a new take on Star Fox, promising a nostalgic journey for fans of the classic title. So have you guys gotten to check this one out at all?
I have not.
Yeah, I skipped through the trailer and I didn't see any gameplay. And so I'm looking at the screenshots now in the article that you linked us to. And these are the first times I've seen these. So I don't know if they were shown in the video and I just skipped past that part. But anyways, I mean, it looks cool from the screenshots, but also like kind of generic at the same time. And, on the one hand, I am excited because, as you mentioned, Star Fox has been ignored for way too long. I think Star Fox 64 is, if not most people's favorite, like a starting point for a lot of people, especially, older people, sadly. But with that being, not sadly, it's a good game, but more the older part. But the thing is, though, like I have immediate flashbacks to Yooka-Laylee, right? It's coming from the Banjo-Kazooie guys, and it's going to be great. It's going to be amazing. Relive your childhood. And the game sucked. I'm sorry, the game sucked. They're remaking it to a degree now. Maybe that version will be good. But that's my concerns here is that maybe it's a product of its time. Even if not, do they have a budget to do it justice? And even even things like the characters, like Star Fox 64 worked because we really like the characters. And of course, this is going to have to be a different set. Yeah, Kirby should be in Star Fox even.
No. Ice Climber Kirby asked, so I'm just showing him.
Oh, that's perfect.
Sorry, keep going.
Holding a friend heart.
And I don't know. I think there's a lot of barriers here, and we've already seen several other Star Fox clones based on the original Super NES game. So I don't know. I hope the best for them. I will check it out for sure. It could be amazing, but I am hesitant right now. So I have a very hesitant excitement for this. But ultimately, it's it's more Star Fox like gameplay, and that can't be such a bad thing. So
my one concern about this was that, not to say that Humble Bundle is bad or anything, but it was presented from the Humble Bundle showcase, I believe. It was where at least the trailer that I pulled up from 2 days ago was from on all the YouTubes. They were all linked to that. So
did they have actual gameplay in the one you saw, or
no?
Okay, yeah, I just remember seeing like a picture of the sky, basically. Like the camera,
yeah. So I mean, to me, it also the scream's kind of generic, and we have had a lot of Star Fox clones come out. I mean, shoot, we had the what was the game with the why is it slipping my mind, with the toys? That had the
I was
the
thinking
Star
that too.
Fox. What is it?
No. Nintendo Land?
No, he's talking about. I can't.
That had this. It was. I mean, it was Star Fox themed for Nintendo.
For Wii U?
I know what he means.
No, for Switch.
Yeah,
for Switch.
For Switch. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the
It's
Ubisoft game.
Yeah, it's slipping my mind.
Starlink.
Starlink. Yeah, there we go. All right,
Yeah.
Starlink.
Dang it,
Yeah.
you figured it out, and I finally found it. Then you're over there thinking about it. I was just trying to.
That's
find
awesome.
The name
you got the actual art for it though. So
yeah. No,
I don't even own an Xbox One. It was just on the clearance aisle.
Honestly, the Starbucks stuff was actually pretty fun in that game. I actually preferred it to the main quest, even though it was very short. It was just nice hearing the cast again, the voice actors, and that's why. I mean, I feel like maybe that's why I'm a little bit hesitant on this. I guess it applies to Banjo-Kazooie to an extent too, but especially for Star Fox, so much of the appeal, I think, at least, is like the characters you already know, the banter between them, and that's a big legacy to live up to because you can't reuse those characters. I mean, you could make similar characters, but is it the same? I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to replicate known characters and that sort of banter that they have. But yeah, I mean, I guess we'll see. It's interesting. It's there. It's going to be coming out. So for anybody that might be interested in that, there's that. And then kind of like that.
Okay,
you got
cats. This is Franny. You just saw Muffins. He doesn't have a Yoshi collar. Sorry. But I love it. We just had to do a cat switch out. Sorry. Go ahead.
Cat swap. That's what they call it. No, we got a new GBA style game coming out, and it's called, I hope I'm saying this right, Pipistrello and the Cursed Yo-Yo. And this one does have gameplay out there for it, as well as screenshots and stuff. But it definitely lives up to the idea of looking just like a GBA game, because it definitely does. It's pretty interesting. 2D top-down adventure game, laying claim to the title of the first Yo-Yo-Vania game, traversing a city with 4 distinct neighborhoods and associated crime lords to take down. The player wields a yo-yo both as a weapon and useful navigation tool. So, it looks interesting. We get a lot of these retro style games, not as many trying to replicate necessarily the GBA.
Yeah.
So looks kind of cool. I figured I'd at least mention it. It's getting
I actually got to do a preview for it. I played the game for about 5 hours or so. Maybe first quarter or so of the game. Yeah, and it's really neat. It's doing some really interesting things there. I think it's it kind of feels like a bit Zelda-like in its overall ethos, but still very unique. Like having like having the yo-yo itself, which is your main weapon. But then one thing I really like is just how you upgrade your abilities. I mean, it's not entirely new because you have like a kind of upgrade like tree thing.
Sure.
But what's interesting about this is you can choose what power you want immediately for it without cashing in anything, but then you're put under contract where the only way to pay it off is to go out and battle enemies, and it starts paying it off immediately using the coins that you collect. So if you already have the coins you need to pay it off, you can't use those. You have to go out and actively collect them. And during that time, though, you get the benefit of that skill tree perk or whatever, but at the same time you're punished with another penalty until you pay it off. Like for instance, you may lose a part of your heart meter or something. In addition, it's got Paper Mario like badges, which I'm always on board for. I love badges. Give me badges in every game. Except Mario Wonder. That's one game where I don't like it, but
it looks cool. That's cool that you got to preview it and stuff. Definitely interesting, definitely Zelda vibes. That's the first thing I thought, and I like to see these different indie style games. That's what I find myself playing a lot in between the, AAA Nintendo releases and other stuff that comes out. So yeah, it looks cool. I think I'll check this one out myself. And it looks to be coming out on Switch and PS5 from what I can see.
Yeah, in late May.
Late May, yeah. Did I say that right? Is it Pipistrello?
You said it as right as I did, so I'm hoping I got it right.
Okay. All right, cool.
Apparently, it's an Italian word, so I guess it can make it sound more Italian-like, but you basically have it. So.
Okay. All right, cool. So next, this one's really interesting because I got a random pop-up while I was working through the week on the computer, but this is what is kind of scary about digital games, what I don't like. But Xbox took away a game that was free, which was Alan Wake Remastered. And
that's my brother's one of his favorite games.
Really?
Alan Wake.
Well, I got this notification that popped up on my PC that Xbox took this game away. And I'm like, what? So I had to like look it up on Google, like what was going on. Like, you know, anybody else gets this notification. But it was free in January. And I guess I didn't know. I just got the tweet, I think from like Wario64 or something, that it was free on there. But apparently he said it was some kind of loophole and that users were able to retain access to it until now. But says Xbox Gamers platform is revoking access to the version of Alan Wake Remastered that was accidentally given away for free. Every once in a while, Xbox and other digital gaming storefronts accidentally give away games free. This happens very rarely, but it is an issue that's popped up on more than one occasion. Typically, when this happens, access to the accidental freebie is revoked pretty quickly, but this wasn't the case for Alan Wake Remastered. So this happened in January. They're just now taking it away. I mean, to me, it's like, that's kind of, you know, they can just take your game away like that. You know what I mean? You claim it and put it on your console and it's gone.
As you said, that's a kind of scary part about, you know, digital ownership, and they don't really ever own it yourself.
Yeah.
I will say though, you know, while I'm generally anti, you know, pulling things without, you know, especially after it's been purchased, if it was genuinely a mistake, which it sounds like, I don't think they advertised it or anything.
Yeah.
Maybe they did. Yeah, I didn't read about it. It doesn't bother me that much. Like, everyone got lucky who got the game, and hopefully they played it by now. But especially because we don't know what the contract is with, you know, the developer of the game.
Yeah,
like, Microsoft doesn't own this game, right? So this could cost the developer sales, and I don't know if they have to pay them back for it. I don't know what's going to happen from that. But this is a case where it doesn't really bother me, because people were lucky enough that they were there early to get the game and hopefully play it. But, you know, revoking access to it, I think, is understandable in this case.
Yeah, and I mean, that is the one thing, is that it was an accident. I've got the actual pop-up message that came up, but it says you recently acquired a version of Alan Wake Remastered that was not intended to be available. Therefore, we are canceling your order, refunding any payment made, and removing it from your My Games and Apps list. We apologize for the inconvenience. And it says you can visit them to view your billing history.
What would be really cool, I think, is it gave people like a small token of like gratitude for the mishap. You know, even though they already got the benefit of playing the game without paying for it, but like, I don't know, throw them some like Xbox points, wherever the hell Xbox uses. You know, like something they can like cash in for, you know, some part of a game or something.
Yeah, I even got the pop up for when it was said to be free on there, because like I was not aware of it being like a loophole thing. Like, I get these tweets all the time, right, about these games that are on sale or that end up being free, whether it be like Epic Game Store, you know, Steam, or any of these different platforms, PlayStation, whatever it is. But it just says, you know, Alan Wake Remastered is free on Xbox Live. You also claim a free trial of Alan Wake 2. And yeah, that's it. That's all that the tweet that went out said. So this wasn't like a, you know, like a weird loophole of people doing something on purpose type of thing. The verify, make sure that, you know, I wasn't like going through some kind of loophole, because I wasn't aware of doing that. But yeah, I don't know. So apparently, if you saw that tweet and you claimed it, then it's no longer available. But yeah, hopefully you played it by now. If not, I guess buy the game. You know, Alan Wake's pretty cool. So.
Yeah, I never played it, but yeah.
My brother loves it. I'm not sure what it is about, but my brother loves it. In my community, we try to post all the free games that we can find. We try to post that in my Discord.
Oh yeah,
handy.
Yeah, for everyone else.
Nice. Yeah, I know Amazon does a bunch of free games every month, and
I have not even tried. I've downloaded a few. I've never tried it. Never tried Amazon games yet. I have it like their thing downloaded on my desktop, but I've never played any of them.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. You get games on some of the other different platforms and stuff. So like GOG is a big one for, you know, them and stuff like that. So all right, next one I'm actually going to pull up just so I can show an image here. So it's from Go Nintendo, and they put out that rumor of an FCC. Well, the FCC filing may point to a GameCube controller for Switch 2. That's the rumor.
Hell yeah!
Okay.
Born to play on Switch 2.
The best one.
Yeah, the best one. A lot of people.
The best controller.
A lot of people think that.
Yes, yes.
a lot of people think that. I love it so much that I got the I forget the company, but they made GameCube Joy-Cons. I've got those.
Oh yeah,
that's what I use on my Switch.
My previous roommate had those too. Yeah,
they're good. They're really good. I mean, I love it. But yeah. Oh, go ahead.
Did Alan Wake 1 or 2 get revoked? It just said remastered, right? It's probably the first one.
It is the first one.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I mean, this is interesting, but to me, I don't know what you guys think. What do you think, Andre, on this before I talk on it?
As to whether it's like a real thing that's happening, or so I didn't look into the story too much, unfortunately. But from what I saw, that it's possible it could be used for reference, perhaps. So I don't know if it's actually happening or not. I hope it does, though, because for one, as Matt was saying, it's an amazing controller. It's still my favorite.
Wavebird.
Yeah, this one's a Wavebird, right? Exactly. I was trying to actually look for my normal one today, but I was using it for something but couldn't find it. In any case, they're both amazing controllers, and this one's about to be wireless too, I think, is what it mentioned, right? So, yeah, even more fitting. Anyways, I mean, I would use a gaming controller in any game I can. So if they support it, I will use it.
Yeah,
and
for
so
sure.
I hope that, especially, of course, it's for the next Smash Brothers game, which they've been supporting since the Wii, or since the GameCube. I mean, since the GameCube version of it. So they can't give up now, right? So this does make sense.
My one thought was Smash Brothers community. That was my thought, because they did it for Wii U and obviously Switch and stuff. So I'm like, well, they're probably just bringing that over, but hey, we're going to give you a wireless version of this. And yeah, I mean, I think that's probably what it would be for, I would imagine, because I think the Smash community probably be a little outraged or something, because they just expect it at this point. Right, exactly. They just expect it now, so.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's one other thing, though, I think it could be used for, and that would be GameCube NSO. If they actually bring a virtual console or remaster more GameCube games.
Yes.
It would make a lot of sense to have a way of using that controller on the system.
Really would, yeah. People were really holding out for GameCube on Switch 1. I actually never thought that was going to happen, just because of the kind of drip of games. Like, there was a slow drip there for a while of games. You know what I mean? It was like very random at some points. And we just get the most random games to do all the time.
Here's 3 Japanese games I've never heard of before.
Yeah, exactly. Like, here's this Japanese puzzle game. It's like, oh, cool. Like, one of them was really cool, though, that came out recently. Don't remember the title, but it was a Satellaview game. That was one thing that people didn't really know.
Oh, that with the witches or wizards and stuff. Yeah, that was cool, actually.
I played it too. It was pretty neat. I can't remember the title of it, but it was cool. I mean, see a Satellaview game on there was neat. So, but yeah, that's what I think as well. NSO and Smash. So
now, if they did make it like the dock could play discs, that would be awesome.
But you straight up insert the GameCube disc? That'd be amazing.
Yeah. Or I always wish that the Nintendo always does something different. Like the Wii got motion controls. The Wii U, you introduced the gamepad, 3DS Touch, the 3D. So what's the gimmick for Switch 2? I wish that they would add the ability to backwards compatible DS and 3DS games on it. It could be so easy, in my opinion, but I'm not sure. I don't think they'll do it because no money in it for them.
Except for maybe adding another NSO tier, right? Like you want the 3DS tier now, or DS tier if you want to get those games. I do think it's possible, though, only because the mouse that the Joy-Con can act as seems like that could finally make DS games work on a TV, where you can display both screens at once and you just use a mouse for the touchscreen. Or if you're playing in handheld form, that would work too without the mouse, because you just use a touchscreen. So I hope it happens because I mean it would be nice because if the Switch 2 lasts as long as the Switch 1 has, they're going to need more than just SNES and 64 games and NES on there, right? Like they're going to have to add a few more consoles, especially because they've already burned through a good chunk of their really good popular games on those previous systems.
They have, yeah. I mean
they republished Mario 64 and
but
that trilogy.
Look, right. Here's the thing about that, right?
That wasn't a real remaster.
No Galaxy 2 on that. So
there's no Galaxy 2. I thought it would be a DLC and they never released it.
Yeah.
That was the rumor. Like, it's going to be a free game that they give you digitally, if you bought this, whatever. Yeah, that didn't happen.
Nintendo doesn't like giving free stuff away.
No, they don't. I might be the one weirdo. I don't know if I actually don't know genuinely if anybody else feels this way, but I always like Galaxy 2 better than I did 1, actually.
I agree with that.
You do?
I love both, but I love
both as well.
When I go back to playing them, like 2 just sucks me and I can't stop. Like that game's amazing. It's just pure joy.
That would have been great to have on the Switch to replay again because it's so much fun. I loved it. But okay, so we also got some more Nintendo news here. We got.
I have some Nintendo news whenever.
Okay.
Whenever.
Is it breaking? Is this hot presses?
No, it's not breaking.
We do the breaking news. So if something comes up, let me know. All right, we'll bring that up after this because it's just a quick thing. But Nintendo San Francisco is opening May 15th of this year. Be located at 331 Powell Street on the corner of Powell and Geary in Union Square. This will be the second retail location in the U.S. for all things Nintendo. Opening almost exactly 20 years after Nintendo New York. So that's crazy interesting. Quick story on this. I always wanted to go to New York as a kid because I wanted to go to the Pokemon Center that they had. Do you remember that when they had the Pokemon Center? I wanted to go to that so bad as a kid. Like
I'm sorry.
I had
because you never made it.
I never made it. No, it was something. They always had like this, exclusive stuff. Like they do at their store. They always have exclusive stuff. But as a kid, like there's always things I couldn't get. These different Pokemon cards I couldn't get. These giveaway events for the games that I couldn't get, and I just always wanted to visit. But no, I mean, this is pretty cool. It is. I think it is a little strange, man, that they've only got like, this is only going to be the second one. It's interesting. But New York and California makes sense, the most sense to put, right? Like it makes the most sense. It's not in Ohio,
It would have made sense, 15 years ago. Like what took so long?
Yeah, right.
A second store. The Switch has been the #1 platform for 8 years. How did it take this long for them to actually make a successor? I think they should have done this a lot sooner. Plus, a few other stores at least.
Yeah.
But I think it's good. I mean, this is fun. I actually used to live not too far from that store or where it's going to be. But I lived in San Francisco or the area at least for 15 years and in San Francisco proper for like 5 years, I think, or a couple years at least. And it's a neat area that's going in. It's like right below or right around like a cheesecake factory. So it's already got like, near an Apple store too. So a lot going on around there. It's probably the best place for them to be in San Francisco. So I mean, if I ever return to that city, I'll definitely drop by. So
yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'd love to visit it at some point. That'd be cool. So yeah, I'll never know. Maybe if I'm out at a convention that way or something like that, it'd be a cool place to drop by. Yeah, that'd be awesome. So that's a small one there. Do you want to bring up what you had?
I sent you the link if you want to put it on screen, but it's nothing great. Just the Club Nintendo program is discontinuing. So if you remember, they would give you like gold coins when you buy something on Switch, and then you could redeem it. That's going to go away. It looks like in April is the last day to select a 2015 Elite Status gifts, whatever that is. And the last day to redeem coins for rewards or download games is June 30th. And then July 31st, the last day to redeem Club Nintendo download codes from the Nintendo eShop. Just wanted to let people know in case anyone cared.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, we didn't have the podcast last week. So I think this came out last week, right, Andre?
Yeah.
I don't remember. I remember them talking about getting rid of the coins or the
It came
gold
out
coins.
February 22nd, so I'm a little behind.
Oh, okay. More than a week. Okay. All right. February 26th. So that was a couple weeks ago. But
so good to raise awareness, though.
Yeah, raise awareness. Let you know because it's about to end. But I'm not really surprised by this, honestly. I was like, it's kind of a bummer because I like collecting the coins to get the physical goodies, even though you got to pay shipping on them still. Of course, you still got to pay the shipping, so you're paying whatever that product is actually worth. So it's they know what they're doing there. But yeah, not super surprised. But a little unfortunate about that because it was kind of a cool program. I miss the old school Club Nintendo though. That was where it was at.
I miss the good old days of the Nintendo Power catalog, where every issue, like every Nintendo Power issue, would come with a secondary catalog, and inside each of those was like 2 power stamps that give you $1 off for each one.
Yeah.
And so I would just save those up, and you could cash it in for whatever you wanted. So I would just get like CD holders or like statues, like some of the things in the back there are from Nintendo Power. And yeah, it's just really cool. So I miss those days.
I've got a bunch of older issues that have some of those and stuff. So I've seen that. It's really cool to see what they offered then. It was pretty neat. Yeah, definitely missed because a lot. There were other like I thinking about the magazines. Like I miss the demo discs and all the different things you could get with like those different magazines. Of course, Nintendo didn't do that, but the Dreamcast magazine and the Xbox magazine, PlayStation, they all gave out demo discs with the different magazines. So
it was so much more exciting back then. I swear to God. Like,
and I was subscribed to Nintendo Power from the year. I'm a little younger, but from the year 2000 all the way until the last issue, and never missed an issue. So, which I believe it ended in 2012. Was the last issue or
yeah, I think that sounds right.
Yeah, I think it was 2012 was the last issue because
well, that sadly means you missed seeing my amazing Banjo-Kazooie time in the power board thing they had the competitions for.
Oh well, no, I've got a whole bunch of. I got the first issue.
Old ones, right?
Yeah, I got the first issue. I've got like the third issue, fourth issue. I know I don't have issue 2, but there's a bunch of other random ones I have too as well. I've got a whole collection of them. So
unfortunately, my time is in the one with Tonic Trouble on the cover, which I don't think anyone cares about. So.
That's funny. I don't know why.
Because demo disc, it would be real fun because every once in a while they make a mistake and actually put the full game on the demo disc.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I was watching a video by Larry Bundy Jr. who was talking about that.
Oh yeah, he makes good content. I didn't know that. Interesting. Well, we got some dang exciting news. Just kidding. So Star Wars Hunters, I make a joke because I kind of thought this game, I was like, we don't really need this. That's how I felt when they announced this game to begin with. But Star Wars Hunters is shutting down on October 1st. Final content update coming April 15th. I personally don't know a single person that's even played this game.
I didn't even know this was a game.
So that's why it's closing down.
Well, it's a free-to-play game. So think in the aspect of Marvel Rivals, which did very well. And we talked about it openly on here multiple times that we crapped on that game so hard. We thought Marvel Rivals for sure was going to fail as well. Same with this game, because it was like, why do we need an Overwatch clone when you got Overwatch and nobody's playing Overwatch 2 anymore? So what do we need this for? And then, lo and behold, I play Marvel Rivals and I like it. I can put a lot of hours into it, actually. I think it's very fun, but this one I haven't played. I don't know anybody that's played it. I asked around a little bit ago too, checked, see if I did know anybody that played it and their thoughts, because I don't really care to check it out. I don't. I guess the user base just wasn't there for it, and they really didn't do heavy promotion if you didn't even know about it, Andre. They obviously just didn't do a good job with it. So Little interesting. I'm taking it, Matt, that you haven't played it either.
No, I'd never heard of it.
Okay. Yes.
I'm assuming it was a online multiplayer game, right?
Yeah. Online only.
I feel like it's such a hard space to get into. You would think, being free would appeal itself to a lot of people, but it's just like it's just more noise, Like
so much free.
Yeah, exactly. It's like
games.
I only pay attention to that stuff. I mean, if anything, it's a warning sign. It's like, stay away. I don't want to play a free game. They're usually not great.
You're just like me, yeah. We checked out. The only reason we checked out Marvel Rivals because we do our weekly Saturday streams, so we needed a multiplayer game to play. Community is like, hey, check out Marvel Rivals. That is actually good. Like normally a game like that I wouldn't touch. I've never played Overwatch 2. I played Overwatch 1, like I think one time. I just I don't, by nature, I don't care about this type of games. Usually, like there's exceptions like F-099. Like I love that. It's really good.
That game's great. Fortnite's fun, of course. But that it's hard. I feel like it's hard to get into that space, especially if you need like a lot of players, because you need to reach like a critical max, and that's just difficult to do.
Right.
So much competition out there.
Yeah, there's a lot out there, but I mean, it's definitely it's always a bummer when games get shut down so quickly because this is a this year game. Sorry, late last year. So within the year of it coming out. So it didn't last long whatsoever. Which it's happened. We've seen it happen before with a few other things. Obviously, Concord being like the big one, I got shut down like pretty much right away. This space, there's too, like you said, Andre, too much noise. There's too much going on with it, and I hope this is a warning sign to these companies that it's not good to invest in just this online only concept or this free to play concept, because it's become a trend, So it was worrying me there for a bit, but I don't know.
Were you there for Payday 3 launch? It
was terrible.
Absolutely terrible. And I played it the day before on like a beta thing or whatever it was, or pre-ordered it.
No content.
And it worked just fine. It was a good game. But then launch day, and it sucked. You couldn't even load a game in half the time. Because it was, even if you had a disc, you still had to be connected to the internet.
I swear I just heard a Mario coin.
Yeah, my text message is Mario.
Oh, okay.
I'll put it on Do Not Disturb.
Oh, goodness gracious.
At least there's an appropriate sound effect.
Yeah, seriously. That's funny.
When someone calls me, it's the ringtone of Island Delfino from Mario Sunshine.
Nice. Love it. That's a good one.
That is a good one. In more not shocking news, I guess, based on some track records recently, especially with Nintendo games, Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition has leaked online already. Which I don't like. I'm fully against this with brand new games, current generation games. But I mean, it's happened with a bunch. I think Donkey Kong Country Returns HD leaked. I think, didn't
Tears of the Kingdom
Zelda both Tears of the Kingdom and Echoes leaked Awakening as well. Yeah, it sucks, but I mean, how do you guys know of a way to prevent this from happening? Like, how do you think this is even happening?
Do whatever Disney does and keep it under lock and key.
Yeah, bring back the Disney Vault, right? Nintendo Vault.
I mean, we talked about this before, but like, I genuinely I'm not sure if it's somebody. I don't think it's somebody within the companies, but that's a possibility there. I think we see images of people holding these physical games like early, right? Like, so it's got to be that they're dumping the game.
Yeah, I think it's just. I mean, they have to ship these games to stores in advance, of course, so everyone can synchronize their release.
Right.
And there's just no way to, prevent people from getting early access that way. I mean, I know of people who've gone to mom and pop stores themselves and just bought the game early from there because they're friendly with the the
That's
owners.
happened to me.
Yeah, they just hand it over. I mean, they pay for it, of course, but
Yeah.
that's legit. But then from that point, they can do whatever with the game. I don't fully understand how the security system works on Switch, but I think the fact that the original system got hacked, the first version of the system, which there's a ton of, got hacked. I think made it easy for people
V1,
to. I could be talking on my butt right now, but I think that made it easier for people to grab the keys needed to emulate the games. And so I assume if that is a problem, Switch 2 would probably address that by. Oh, I mean, they've already addressed it on Switch, but because there are older versions that work, it's still a problem. But I imagine Switch 2, they've done their best to prevent this from happening again. Although, who knows? People get creative, and it's entirely
they'll find a way eventually.
Exactly. Yeah,
it'll take some time, hopefully.
Yeah, I mean that's the whole reason they did the V2 Switch, I believe, right?
That's right.
Yeah, that was the whole reason to prevent what was going on. But there are already so many out there. Like I know people. I've seen listings on like Facebook Marketplace that people are listing this as a higher price because this is a V1 Switch, so you know what you're buying this for. Right. You know what I mean? So it's actually kind of hard to find a V1 Switch because anytime I see Switches come by, they're usually a V2 Switch. There's just more of them out there, I feel like. But yeah, they seem to sell for a higher price and stuff because people are doing that. And I think it is the shipping to the store. I just how soon do they need to get to the stores? I wonder. I would like to know somehow. How soon these are being shipped to stores? Are we talking 2 weeks before? Are we talking this is already there a month before? Or are we talking, it's got to be at least a week, right? We got to make sure that you're shipping all over the world, right? So it's got to be, I would think, several weeks. I don't know. How soon do you need to ship these games to the store? I think that might be one of the problems. And you would think that they'd try to figure out a way to address it from happening, but I wonder because they're focused on Switch 2 that do they even care now at this point? And I don't know.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised they didn't release Switch 2 sooner, just to try and head off, all the emulation earlier. But I guess if you did the OLED and Switch Lite would be enough in the revision they made. So, but it wasn't, obviously.
Yeah, I mean the launch of this game's in a week, so that gives us sort of a time frame that hey, there's at least a week there. But I'm trying to remember which game it was, but somebody took a picture of the physical game in their hand. It was a month early. I want to say it was. It might have been Echoes. I think it was Echoes. Somebody on X. You've seen those, I'm sure, Andre, right? Where people have taking photos of these games early physically in their hand.
Right, yeah.
And they're in, not a warehouse location, very obviously by the picture and stuff. So yeah, it's interesting. Kind of sucks because also what that leads to is, spoilers and stuff before the game even comes out. And yes, this is a remaster, but it does have additional content. So this one is not such a big deal with that, but games like Echoes or Tears of the Kingdom or things like that, it does matter, to me, it definitely, and it's happening across all consoles. So this isn't just a Nintendo thing, but I've noticed it's happening with a lot of the AAA releases from Nintendo here.
Mr. Coffee in the chat mentions that back in the day when the game industry was smaller, that games would often arrive at stores day of release, or they would pick it up from local distributors directly before sunrise. So that's interesting. That's definitely changed because we know they get the games at least a few days early, if not more.
No, that's definitely interesting. That makes sense to me. I kind of brought up that point about not doing a 1-day shipping thing, but a very, very quick shipping, because I mean I feel like they can afford to ship those out maybe with a quick shipping, but maybe not. I don't know the logistics of all of it, but that is interesting for sure. Thanks for letting us know that, Mr. Coffee.
There was I know that the Lego magazine also has leaked games before because they made toys for the game and then they released pictures of their toys before the game was announced.
Yeah, I used to get the Lego magazine. I loved Lego back in the day. I still think it's cool. If it was affordable, I'd still be into it. I really wanted to get the NES and the Mario Question Block and the Atari 2600 and all those video game ones that came out. But my lord, are Legos expensive? You think gaming's expensive? Getting the Lego, man.
I see the Lego. They're gonna cost like game systems. Oh my god,
they are. Well, that's the thing. It's like buying the NES. It's like I could get a real NES for way cheaper than that.
Yeah, right.
This is a Lego set, but collectors are going to collect.
Should we take a moment and look at some of the comments we have?
Yeah, we can go.
There, Cosmic says, do any of us play Atomic Hearts? Because apparently there's a new DLC for that coming out. I haven't played Atomic Heart, but I don't know. I didn't know if you guys did or not by chance.
I haven't played it. No, I'm aware of it. I don't know what type of game it is though, or anything. I don't know if it's like a Dark Souls type game. I can't remember.
I feel like every game is considered a Dark Souls like game these days.
Yeah, for sure. I can't remember.
Siege tournament happened, and the FaZe Clan won, and they apparently went up against BDS and wiped the floor with them. Okay,
nice. I don't know anything about that, but
yeah, nor I either.
Cosmic's my editor, and he's really, really into Siege, so I don't know. There any other comments and anything else, guys? You guys want to? I'm talking to the audience. Sorry. Any of you guys want to leave any comments? We're reading comments right now, but we're going to head back over to our normal stuff here in a second. I know Fawn wanted to talk.
Yeah, I've just been pulling some comments up and stuff here and there as I see them, but
sorry, yeah. I stole away from the podcast. Let's go back to the podcast.
All right, we've got Silent Hill F. Has revealed some new information about the story and setting and different things going on with it. There is a trailer reveal out there for it as well that you can look up. Actually, I might be able to see if I can do this without. Potentially. Maybe that's not gonna work. So, but anyway, so what they've said on it is combining the classic psychological horrors of the Silent Hill franchise with an unexpected Japanese setting. Looks to bring the core elements of Silent Hill to players in a new way. The familiar otherworld replaces its traditional chain link fencing and barbed wire with overgrown flowers and animalistic tendrils. Just deformed monsters that bring the terrors of Japanese horror to life. So it definitely looks like looking at the images, looks like visually a very good looking game. And definitely it gives me like kind of, I don't know, something like The Grudge or The Ring, where like those came out of Japan first type of vibes that they might be going for, just based on a couple of the screenshots that I see. But it does look interesting. I still haven't played the Silent Hill 2 remake though, so I don't know if either of you guys have played.
I haven't played Silent Hill. I've heard it's good, but I haven't played it.
Yeah, I played about an hour of the remake, and then I did actually finish the Wii version forever ago, Shattered Memories.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that was I liked that then. I don't know if it would still hold up now. I have it still. I haven't played it again since I beat it when it was new.
I just remember being chased by those horrible monsters. I hate being chased in games, and I'm like, oh god, this whole game's built around it.
For sure. But yeah, I mean, definitely interesting. Is big, cult following and stuff for Silent Hill, and that Silent Hill 2 remake, I think, did very, very well. I think it brought a lot of attention to the series and kind of made it not so much just a cult classic series anymore. So I think it's good. I mean, this is what they need to do to keep a series, running, is keep these games alive, because there for a long time we weren't getting any games, and it's good to see a series doing well. So that's cool.
It is, absolutely. All
right, and this one's kind of a quick one. I thought it was very interesting, but this just came out today that Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 3 was officially announced. I know the game did very well. Me and Mark played through the whole thing on stream, so we had a pretty good time with it. Have either of you guys played 1 or 2?
I have not played it. I have played the tabletop version a little bit, but not a lot.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, the one thing that we kept saying about it during stream is like we don't know what's going on at all the way to the end of the game. We didn't understand what was going on in the story. We didn't get it. We also didn't play 1, and we don't play the tabletop game, so we just like didn't understand what the heck was going on in the game. But the gameplay was fun. It's like Gears of War, like classic Gears of War, so it's pretty interesting. But yeah, we had a pretty good time with it. So that's cool to see it. I know it did very well. It had a very active user base and stuff on Steam when it first came out. And obviously, if they kicked off development for a new game already, it definitely did well for them. So that's cool to see for sure. And then last for news is this one's kind of a weird one because we don't know anything on it necessarily, but people are wondering why Pokemon Legends ZA is rated E10 plus rather than just E. So I thought it was kind of interesting. I wonder what exactly it'll say there and what's causing that, but it's kind of funny that I saw a whole bunch of stuff about this, like all over, like people talking about. I'm also kind of like in the Pokemon sphere of things and social media, so I'm getting fed that stuff all the time. I saw a lot of people talking about it more than I would think.
Fantasy violence. Keep going.
Well, yeah, I don't know. And Pokemon always had that though. What changed exactly?
Yeah.
I personally don't think like anything changed. It just comes down to the people that rated the game. Well, I think sometimes it's handled. I forget how it's handled now.
Individuals that rate it?
Well, I know the no, not the MSRP, the ESRB. No, what's the movie version? MSRP? I don't know.
No, MSRP is prices.
Okay, yeah, that's right. Yeah, whatever the movie version is, I know like that organization themselves looks at it. I think it's a little different in gaming where it's based on like specific moments that the game developer send over. In any case, I don't think it means anything. But I remember when Smash Brothers Brawl came out, it got a T rating somehow, even though it was functionally no different from Smash Brothers Melee. Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
It was Melee actually.
Oh my gosh! I never looked at this. Look at this. So, ready? T.
Yep.
T. E10 and up. What?
Exactly. Like what?
What is that? Well, okay, I didn't even actually.
If anything, I would say Smash Brothers Wii U had more
E10 and up again. What the heck?
Wii U had Bayonetta, right? Like I think that's more.
Yeah, it's more like risque, I guess.
Exactly, more mature, if anything.
Yeah.
So I don't think it means anything. I think if it does mean something, it's such a minor thing.
It's such a minor thing. Yeah,
exactly.
It really doesn't matter at the end of the day. But I thought it was pretty.
Like, Pikmin is E10 and up. What the heck?
I guess I don't pay attention to Nintendo games like ever with that because
once you can buy anyone, does it matter?
Yeah. It does. Obviously, as an adult, it doesn't necessarily matter to me. But yeah, no, that's interesting. What wasn't there like one Nintendo game? Was it on the DS maybe or something that got an M rating? Wasn't there a Nintendo game that got an M rating?
Well, recently that whatever it's called, Famicom Club or whatever, Detective Club, that got an M rating from Nintendo.
Yeah, they did get an M rating, didn't it? I think it was. Maybe it was a third-party developer, but it was like kind of shocking or something to see an M rating on a Nintendo system or something at the time. It was weird, like everybody's talking about it. I remember that. Guess
the only other thing I can think of was Conker's Bad Fur Day, though that was technically published by Rare and not Nintendo. But
right, yeah, that
very much felt like a Nintendo published thing, even. But
it did. Yeah, that's I forgot about the Famicom Detective Club. That's right. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, they don't normally steer far away from that.
Yeah.
So I'm looking up Pikmin 1 and 2 on the GameCube are each rated E, but then it's E10 and up together. So,
I guess 2 E's make E+, E10 plus,
I
obviously.
guess so.
The politics of ESRB have changed as well.
Yeah, bingo.
Something there. Yeah, there's something going on there. But no, I just thought it was interesting to bring that up because a lot of people talking about it. It's just all over nothing too, as well.
Yeah,
every
Mr.
couple
Coffee,
years,
I think, is on it here. Yeah,
yeah.
He's updated the internal ruling, and
he is always on it. He's always on top of things.
Seems like it. Yeah,
he needs to come on the podcast one of these days. All right. So I just came up with some questions, and we got. Let's see. The first one I just said, what do you think makes the Super Mario series so universally beloved across different generations? And I was kind of thinking, obviously, a little more Nintendo with this one, especially with having Andre on and Matt, you as well. You're a big Nintendo fan, but was kind of thinking about kind of what made Mario kind of attach itself to so many people and why it's so big now. They say bigger than Mickey Mouse. Mickey Mouse isn't really relevant now.
Yeah,
it hasn't made itself relevant since like the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse or whatever. Does
Mickey have a movie of his own? I think not.
Right, the movie is a big point there, but I do remember people saying it before the movie that I remember hearing that like he was the most well-known character or something like universally.
Yeah, he definitely was for a huge chunk of time.
Yeah. So I mean, what do you guys think kind of attached itself to everybody? Because everybody knows Mario, and is it? It was just something I was sort of thinking about. I mean, we all love Mario, but what makes it stand out more than say even like Sonic? In the heyday, of course they had their rivalry, but I think Sonic would be, probably like somewhere in like 10th place to Mario or something like that as far as being recognizable to everybody.
Right.
At this point, So I just kind of wonder about that. What made Mario attach itself to Matt? Do you?
Sorry, my wife's on the phone, so she's talking. That's why I'm muted. But anyways, to me, it's just nostalgic. Everyone loves Mario. Pretty much just like Lego. No one hates Lego. But
I hate Lego.
No, don't be that guy.
Stepping on Lego.
Stepping on. But it's just nostalgic for me. I mean, Mario 64, like one of the most nostalgic ones for 3D space, and then they also have 2D platformers, which are really, really good as well.
Yeah, I think that's a huge part of it. Like, I think it's largely that the games are just good. They bring a level of joy that I feel like few other games can match. Like, playing, like I mentioned earlier, playing through Galaxy 2 is just so delightful. And that's the case for a lot of Mario games. Like, they're just a lot of fun.
Right.
And 2 is that Mario himself is just like adorable. Just like this cute little plump human, right? Like, kind of like an everyday man. He wasn't born as a superhero or something. He just ended up being one.
Yeah.
And I think that on some level that is appealing too. I don't know if that's the main thing, but I think it's a factor. And I think you take the fact that games are really good. They have this really personable, fun character, and you just have like a winning recipe there. And I think that's where Sonic goes wrong, is that his games aren't always home runs. And that's why it hasn't resonated quite as much as Mario has. Though I do know, like, among kids, like my sister or my nieces, they freaking love Sonic. They don't care about Mario. Sonic, though, they're there.
There's something weird about that, though, because I have a 9-year-old daughter. She knows Sonic through Roblox, so I don't know if they play Roblox at all.
Right.
But is very popular in Roblox for some reason as a character. I to me, just kind of the points that I thought were Mario established itself in a big way with 2D platformers being like the definitive 2D platformer. Mario obviously established itself with Super Mario 64, right? When you saw him jumping out of that pipe, that was a huge moment for so many kids, that had the Nintendo 64. And that was huge to see that in 3D. Like, it was a really big moment. So their games are almost always polished. Like, what to expect when you're picking up a Mario game. So that's what I thought of.
Yeah, I think you're nailing it on the head.
And to Matt's point too, the fact that it's been this consistent so far, like it means that people, as old as I am, like have nostalgia going back for decades now, and a lot of people have their kids of their own who are also growing up with these great games, and that's partly why it's spanning generations, especially now with the whole movie thing being in theme parks. Like I think it's only going to grow from here, which is wild because Mario is already so well known.
Yeah, definitely. Mr. Coffee said, personally, Disney shifted how it shared Mickey Mouse. Growing up, you would see Mickey cartoons regularly on TV, in merch, in parks, and was more affordable. Yeah.
Oh, one more thing. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead. You're good.
There's one more thing real quick. I don't, for some reason, I don't know if it's supposed to. The chats on my Twitch aren't coming through here, I think. But one person there said, Butters Alliance said, Mickey did have some movies, but they're direct-to-video ones, not theatrical. Yeah, see, I'm surprised Disney hasn't done this yet. I would be surprised if after looking at the Mario movie, they're not reconsidering things right now and would consider making a Mickey movie, because I think I think it would help Mickey, because I feel like, Mickey's just kind of there. He is a cute character as well, but you never really think of him much, whereas, Mario's just everywhere, and yeah.
I like I've never really played any games you guys are talking about.
Even Mario, what?
Right?
He must not have a Nintendo.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I think Disney's problem is focusing. They put way too much stock into Marvel and Star Wars. So that's been a big focus, and a lot of, a lot of them have bombed, aren't doing good. And Star Wars movies, like, if they're very mixed on if people like them at all, and a lot of Marvel movies aren't doing very well. I know Deadpool Wolverine did very good.
That was fun. I'm not even a huge Marvel guy. I had fun with that one.
Yeah, that was good.
But I used to be a huge Marvel guy, but ever since the arc, after Thanos snapped and stuff, pretty much a lot of the movies after that have been hit or miss.
Yeah, that's a big part of it. And by relying so much on those two brands and being inconsistent with the quality, especially for Star Wars, it's just damaging both. We saw the new Captain America did relatively poorly, and then every Star Wars movie is just like a mess of a reaction to it. Some people like it, some people don't, or a lot of people are on both sides, but it's increasingly becoming divisive for every Star Wars entry. And they just got to figure it out. Whereas Nintendo's been very deliberate, perhaps to an extreme degree, waiting 30 years for another theatrical attempt. But it worked out, and hopefully Disney moves on from just Marvel and Star Wars.
Yeah, Super 8 brought up a really good point that there is a Looney Tunes movie that's a theatrical movie out now. So that's that. If Looney Tunes can do it, I definitely think Mickey Mouse has the opportunity there to do something. There's got to be something, right?
Yeah. And shout out to Antonio in our community, who actually worked on the new Looney Tunes movie.
No.
Wow. You can try to see it this weekend. Yeah, I'm excited now.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
When does the Looney Tunes movie come out?
This weekend, right?
Yeah, it's out now. It's out today.
Oh, okay, today. Yeah,
they have not. They've done like almost no marketing for it. So if it bombs, that's probably why, because no one knows it's out. So
today's Pi Day, so there's a lot of mathematical things in it or something.
It must be.
Yeah. Okay, so this next question here. We'll do two more here. This is kind of dealing with obviously Metroid Prime 4 and stuff coming out, but basically I'm just kind of asking. Do you think that Metroid will have a bigger revival with Metroid Prime 4 at all? Do you think it's going to make a big impact for the series? Because Metroid Dread sold the most, but it still didn't sell, significant numbers, right? It didn't sell crazy numbers. It sold the most in the entire series, but it still wasn't.
Yeah, barely more. Yeah. And
yeah.
That's being compared to other Metroid games on systems that sold like 1/10 of what the Switch has. It's really not that impressive, taking that into consideration.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So what do you guys think Metroid Prime 4 will have a sort of impact for the series? Do you think it'll make it more popular again, or because
I'm not
a 3D shooter?
Not entirely sure. I know my nephew, for some reason, has fallen in love with Metroid and collected every single game, even games that came out before it was born and stuff. So I know he'll play it and he'll let me know everything about it.
That's cool.
But I don't know if it's going to bring anything. I don't know if it's going to bring back hype for Metroid or not.
Yeah, I think if it's truly only a Switch 1 title, I can't see it doing much better than the series already has. Like maybe it'll become the best-selling game by a small margin like Dread was before it, potentially. I think I might be biased here, but I made a whole video, talking about my expectations for the Switch 2 launch. But I think its best chance is to launch alongside the Switch 2. It's still on Switch 1, but also have a variant or upgrade, for Switch 2 to capture that early hype, energy from the launch. And I think that's his best chance of expanding the audience. Otherwise, I think it's going to get, washed over or ignored by a lot of people because it's just another Metroid game. And but I could be wrong. It might depend on what the game actually is. The little bit we've seen so far looks very Metroid Prime like, but which is great. I'm a huge fan of Metroid Prime, but at the same time, is that enough to cater to a larger market? So hopefully there's more there too that would appeal to people beyond what we've seen.
So similar to what they did with Mario Kart 8, where it was on Wii U, then they put it on Switch, and
right, yeah,
and Breath of the Wild, they did that similar.
Yeah, Breath of the Wild is a great example because Zelda games had sold well before Breath of the Wild, but Breath of the Wild sold, I think, 4 times what the series had been selling previously. So if Metroid does something similar, it won't be as big as Breath of the Wild. That'd still be, possibly 12 million units, which is 4 times what it currently sells, and that would be huge.
Yeah.
And even if it's half of that, that's still double what the series typically pulls in.
Right.
So I hope that Nintendo's looking at it because this game's been in development for 7-8 years now.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It kind of needs to be big. So
Andre, do you remember when Metroid Dread was the same way? It was in development hell as well.
Yeah, that's right.
They announced it. I remember the Nintendo Power issue. They were talking about it was supposed to come out on the DS, and it never came out. There were screenshots and everything.
There was a tease at Metroid Prime 3 even where they mentioned a Dread thing.
Yeah, yes. The Metroid series does not have good luck. I don't know what it is that, because it's been there since the NES as well, and it was, it's considered like an NES staple, and like Super Metroid for the Super Nintendo for like all the retro gamers, like a big deal. But for some reason, it just never caught on in the same way, and I don't quite know why. I mean, like you don't see the same marketing push for Metroid. I know that's not there. There's been stuff for it. Of course, they've done advertisement stuff for the games in the past and in the magazines and stuff like that. But there's never been a big push for the series that I can ever remember in my lifetime. I just don't remember seeing a big push like I did for Mario or Zelda.
No,
which is unfortunate because it's a great series. I love it.
Yeah, no, it is good, and it's been a long time since we've had a 3D entry. So
yeah, sure has.
Speaking of threes, Cosmic Radiation in the chat says, "You know what else is in development hell? Half-Life 3."
Oh yeah, that's really that one. I don't know if it's ever coming out. Oh man, that's one that's you remember Duke Nukem Forever? It was like 12 years.
I was at a mock review event for that game where we give the developer feedback on it, and I think we all agree that the game was trash then, and it came out and everyone thought it was trash too. It's like, yeah, that game sucked.
So I had it pre-ordered for 3 years, and I got the collector's edition that came with the statue. We were so excited to get the game. We love Duke Nukem for some reason. Somehow we got kind of attached to the series. And it was just it was kind of a letdown, man. It was what happened? It had 4 iterations of the game that got developed and stuff. So
yeah,
that was a crazy one. All right. So I guess for our last question for the podcast here, we'll ask, do you think the future of Nintendo console lies in the hybrid model only, or will they try something entirely different after Switch 2? You think that this model is going to stick?
If Switch 2 is a success, there's no way they switch. I don't even know where they go from here. Hybrid
has to be hybrid.
Yeah, it basically Nintendo's basically locked themselves into this now. It has to be hybrid because let's say theoretically they release a handheld only in the future. There's no way when they have some kind of video output at the same time, they're making a hybrid, right? So I think they're basically stuck with us, and which works for their favor. Yeah. I've said before that I firmly believe Nintendo is the only one that could pull off the system at the time that they did, back in 2017.
Yeah.
Because for everyone else, Xbox, PlayStation, it would have been a huge visual downgrade. Nintendo, though, coming off the fairly modest Wii U, they were able to make a portable as strong as that, if not a little bit more powerful, in the form of the Switch, and make it a hybrid and call it a true successor. And that worked out for them. Whereas, again, for the others, their games would have looked worse on a handheld system.
Yeah.
And it also fits Nintendo's general ethos in making the best of like limited hardware. Even though the Switch 2 will be a massive upgrade, it still won't be Xbox or PS5 strong.
Right. Yeah.
And that works to their favor. That results in cheaper games for them to make on cheaper hardware. And yeah, I cannot imagine a world in them stepping away. Like the only alternative, really. I mean, I guess they could go back to the console route and go full power, but again, I don't see that happening.
Yeah.
Or VR, but VR seems to be kind of a dead market again, and I think this is it.
I don't know. I just bought the Quest 3S.
Oh, hey, nice. I mean, I have a Quest 2 and I enjoy it, but I almost never pull it out. Sadly, I would like to, but it's just a huge barrier.
It's a big niche. I mean, you saw what happened with the PSVR 2, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, I bought that and instantly regretted it.
Yeah. I mean, when it first came out, I got the Horizon bundle, and I was like, it's kind of cool. It was my first VR experience too.
Oh, as a first, that'd be really cool. Yeah.
Yeah. I played some really cool stuff on it for sure, but it is like, it's one of those things that's niche, and it's for that one. I know it's not, MetaQuest 3 or MetaQuest period is kind of solve the problem of having to be plugged in, but that's really annoying. Like a cable is so annoying. That's one big thing about that. But yeah, no, that's still a niche market, and I think it'll continue to grow. I do think there's a following for that, but I think as far as Nintendo with this, I pretty much agree with you, Andre. I think they've kind of locked themselves into it, and that could be a good or bad thing for some people. I do see the people out there that say they miss the dedicated home console that's just a console. They want something beefier, you know what I mean, from Nintendo, but Nintendo, it's not them anymore, and they kind of left that in the GameCube era, right? Like they left that behind there. That's kind of how I feel, and it's okay. They've always done something weird and innovative, even with the GameCube. The GameCube, right? It's a cube, like it's got a handle. It's got a handle to travel with, So I don't know.
I mean, they might bring back the Virtual Boy and remaster it, but I think something they could do is different docks. So you switch out docks. So one's more powerful, and you can actually play some type of disc game or something that's more powerful. But then you still always are going to have that option to take it with you on the go. That they are the best selling one for anything to take with you. Besides the phone.
Truthfully, I feel like Switch 2 is the last of physical media for a game console. That's how I feel. Feel like PlayStation, Xbox, leaving it behind. I don't even know what Xbox is going to do after the handheld. We might not even actually get another console from Xbox. I don't know. It's Series X has not done well.
No. Although there was just recently a report, like literally a few days ago, I forget. Oh, Windows Central, they were reporting that they have a handheld coming out this year that apparently will have Xbox branding but be more PC focused, and that the next successor to the Series X would be in 2027, I think. So we'll see that happen.
Yeah, I saw that as well. I forgot to put the Xbox handheld in there. I meant to do that in the notes. That is my bad. But yeah, thank you for bringing that up. They're doing that. We kind of knew about that before, but we got official word of it, and we've talked about it a few times, actually, the Xbox handheld stuff. So I think everybody wants to get in the handheld space right now. It's a good space to be in for people, it seems.
I think Xbox's next console won't be a console. They're going to do a thing like what Sega did, where they kind of just sell some of their stuff, and then they're just going to focus, like they'll sell some of their IPs or whatever, but they're going to focus on their providing Xbox Game Pass to the other consoles or something like that is what I think they'll.
I could see like a dedicated streaming device for Game Pass or something.
Yeah, that maybe too.
Yeah, I don't. I know they say these companies, look, all of them, including Nintendo, say a lot of stuff. So I don't believe it until we get closer to that date necessarily, because the Xbox hardware is not doing well.
No.
Hasn't done well since the 360.
Like,
that was the only era that did well.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. That was the one where they really came out swinging. Yeah. Though I did appreciate the original Xbox too for like.
Me too. I love it.
Yeah, for what it did for gaming in general, and it sold about as much as the GameCube, which isn't bad for their first outing. But you're right. Like it's kind of like it feels like a dying platform. And Mr. Coffee in the chat says, I think Xbox but is anyone asking for an Xbox handheld? And I don't think they are, because it feels like locking yourself into Xbox now feels like a mistake, because with them playing their games on other platforms, like
right.
why not just buy a competing system where you then get those exclusives as well? So honestly, I think Xbox's only chance here is they just make a kick-ass handheld that can play games across a variety of platforms. And the report was that it would support multiple storefronts like the Epic Store, even Steam.
Yeah.
That would allow it access to the Steam Deck library, basically.
Yeah.
And then they have Game Pass on there. That it would be a great addition,
especially Game Pass is a big deal.
Especially if they roll in like a free 3, 6, 9 months or whatever for buying a handheld.
Yeah.
That's a pretty compelling offer. That instantly gets you access to a big library of games, plus anything on Steam. And if it's more powerful than Steam Deck and Switch 2, I could see it. I think it's a stretch. I don't think it'll be Switch 1 big, but it could maybe be competition for, the Steam Deck.
Here's my only thing about that is I was thinking too, I was like, oh, well, it is Microsoft, so they've got the most access to getting some beefy hardware, right? Because this is going to be, I think from what I understood, I could be wrong. This is going to be Xbox branded, but it's made by somebody else, right?
That's correct. By like a third party manufacturer. Yeah.
Okay. So they could do that, but think about like what the Series X was also the most beefiest console when it came out. And that did not matter at all.
Yeah.
It just didn't matter. And I don't know if that's enough with handhelds, because I'm like, how much we know that we're getting new Asus ROG Ally. We know we're getting a new Steam Deck. I mean, how much beefier could the handheld be right now with this technology and be affordable? Because Asus ROG Ally X is like $800. Yeah. It's like getting a PC. It is a PC, but it's like getting a desktop at this point. So I don't know. Like, is it, if it's that much beefier, is it going to be affordable? Is it $1,000?
That's a good point. That would be unfortunate. Maybe they would be willing to sell it at a slight loss to make it back on possibly Game Pass. But you're right. I mean, we've seen time and time again, especially with like Nintendo, as we just mentioned, how like hardware power seems to be mattering less and less to a degree, because it's just increasingly diminishing returns. Like,
yes, exactly.
Look how different. Look how undifferent the newest generation of games look compared to PS4. There's still some games on PS4 that look like they could be PS5 games,
Yeah.
But I will say that I would think that difference is probably more impactful in the handheld space right now, because it could, there's still some games like the Steam Deck can't play, for instance.
Right. Yeah.
Or if they can, it may look just terrible. And maybe that could be the difference Xbox leans into, where like, hey, you can play even more games on our version. Because I think it could still matter there a little bit, at least more than the console space.
I mean, I would love to. I like the Xbox brand. I have all the consoles. I like the Xbox brand a lot. I really do.
I like the controller more than the PS5 controller.
I got two sitting right here. I use it for my PC. So
it's great. Good controller.
Yeah.
See, look at that. See, we all have it.
It's a great controller. It's excellent.
I use it for Rocket League.
There you go.
Nice.
Great choice.
I mean, it's perfected, but I'm interested to see what happens. I don't know. I really don't know as far as that goes, whether Xbox is going to stick around. I think it all depends on how that handheld does, because they picked up all these companies and stuff too, all these different development studios, and it's like, oh, this is going to be huge. Xbox Series X is going to be so big, and wow, people were massively let down,
There's going to be a new Steam Deck. I just got my wife one for Christmas. Now I got to upgrade.
Yeah, there's going to be yeah. I mean, we know that for a while though.
Sorry, you had to find out this way.
How is the PlayStation Portable doing currently? Do we know?
PlayStation Portal is a horrible device. I'm sure it's not doing well.
Maybe
I got one sitting right here on the dock. It's terrible.
This might surprise you then, Brandon. If I remember correctly, it's apparently exceeding Sony's expectations for it, which is a surprise.
What does that mean, though?
Yeah, true. They may have expected nothing. Because I don't quite see the appeal myself. It's like, isn't that just what the Wii U did, but even worse somehow?
Right.
I don't understand it, but apparently it's working for some people at least. And
I legitimately only got it for the channel. That was it. And no, I just had a horrible I got fiber internet. Like I test my speeds, all the time. They're always in the 900s, always.
Yeah.
And
doesn't work.
Yeah, PS5's right here. I've even got a PS5 Pro, and supposedly it's supposed to work a little better with that. And I still, with the update and everything that they've done, I've not had a good experience with it. I'm not sure. I'm sure that it's done okay. Like they got a new colorway out for it, that Galaxy Black or whatever it is that they just did, like all the black colors for all the hardware and stuff. So maybe it's done okay. I just see them sitting all the time at my local stores, but I don't know. Maybe it's doing all right. But yeah, I think that's all we got for this week. Appreciate having you on, Matt and Andre. It's been fun.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Always. And guys, be sure to subscribe. I dropped the link in the chat. Appreciate everybody watching, hanging out with us. And of course, for our audio listeners, we're always live every Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Mark will be back next week. And we'll have to hear about his trip from Japan and all that stuff. Jealous.
Yeah, he better have gone to the Nintendo store.
Yeah, I'm going to ask him. Or
Nintendo World.
Yeah, I don't know what he's doing. I've heard very little from him, so he must be having a good time.
Yeah.
He's going to a convention. He went to a convention and stuff there too. So yeah, we'll have to hear about that next week. But Andre, I hope to have you on again sometime soon. Matt, you as well, and appreciate everybody watching. Thanks, Mr. Coffee, everybody in the chat, DDS Dave, and the People's Gamer 1979. Shout out to you. Thanks for coming by, and we'll see you all.